tonight on First at 9 this Monday, the 22nd of September 2025. Strike standoff. Government issues gazette declaring electricity an essential service. CEB unions warn of a full-scale strike if talks aren't held within 2 days. President denies all claims of privatizing the CEB. Drug overdose. Police seize over 600 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine and heroin hidden in 3 lorries in Tangol. 2 bodies discovered in a house where 2 of the lorries were parked. Public Security Minister reveals political links to drug trafficking in the southern province. Inflation. Sri Lanka's NCPI-based inflation continues to rise in August.
Kalin baby soap rupial 90කට. Kalin baby podi හැමෝටමයි.
From Derana, this is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening, you're joining First at 9, brought to you by Sri Lanka's premium news provider, Derana. I'm Tarindu Mahendra, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. In your top story this evening, President Anura Dissanayake issued an extraordinary gazette notification declaring all services connected with the supply of electricity as essential. In response, CEB trade unions warned that unless the government engages in meaningful discussions within the next 2 days, the trade union action will be escalated to a complete withdrawal from all services.
Trade unions affiliated with the Ceylon Electricity Board commenced a strike action at midnight on September 4th in protest of the proposed restructuring of the national power supplier. Marking an escalation of the trade union action, CEB employees announced their withdrawal from all procurement and tender-related activities effective from midnight yesterday. Against this backdrop, President Anura Dissanayake yesterday issued an extraordinary gazette notification declaring all services connected to electricity supply as essential. The gazette notification read that the move aimed at ensuring the continuity of daily routines and preventing disruption to vital services. Following this development, representatives of CEB employees and affiliated trade unions voiced their concerns over the gazette.
Why does the government, which declared the supply of electricity an essential service, attempt to restructure the state electricity supplier? Why does the government pave the path for the entity to be privatized in the future? The government is attempting to manipulate CEB employees by declaring the supply of electricity an essential service. We would like to remind this government that the ongoing trade union action cannot be ended by declaring the supply of electricity an essential service. Governments often try to collapse after declaring the supply of electricity an essential service. The incumbent government is following the same path just a year into its tenure. A similar suppression carried out last year led to the loss of employment opportunities for over 100,000 workers. Historically, declaring certain services as essential has often been used as means of suppression. The current action clearly targets trade unions and workers. Indeed we are, because this trade union action was arbitrary, initiated by certain trade unions to inconvenience the government, rather than being solely focused on advancing workers' rights.
Meanwhile, trade union representatives convened this afternoon to deliberate on their future course of action in relation to the ongoing protest.
Today we decided to continue the ongoing Work to Rule campaign until the 24th of this month. If we are not provided an opportunity for fruitful discussions within these 2 days, we will definitely move on to the final phase of our trade union action by withdrawing from all services and engaging in a strike action.
Concurrently, the Ministry of Energy announced that recruitment for the 4 fully state-owned entities established under the Electricity Act is already underway. It added that some CEB employees have already expressed their willingness to join the new entities, with some formally submitting letters of consent to the CEB chairman. Meanwhile, attending a progress review discussion on the ongoing electricity sector reforms today at the Presidential Secretariat, President Anura Dissanayake assured that the state electricity supplier will not be privatized under any circumstance.
The future of the country hinges on the efficiency, transparency and cost effectiveness of the energy sector. It is imperative that we transform this sector into an efficient and transparent one, as it currently suffers from the deficiencies in these areas. We must take a change in this regard. As a government as well as a political movement, we believe that the energy sector must be maintained under government control due to its economic importance and in order to safeguard national security and sovereignty. We do not intend to hand over this sector to any private entity. Our primary concern is to eliminate existing disparities by creating a more efficient institutional framework. This is the path that must be followed if we need to transform this sector into an efficient one.
ඔයාගේ හීන ලන්තයට අපිත් එක්ක යන්න අදම සනස ලයිෆ් එක ඉන්ෂුවර් වෙන්න.
The Colombo Magistrates Court today denied bail for former State Minister Shashindra Rajapaksa in a corruption case tied to the 2022 unrest and remanded him until September 30th. Meanwhile, the Colombo High Court is scheduled to hear the money laundering case against Yoshitha Rajapaksa on October 15th. In a related move, the Citizens Movement Against Fraud, Corruption and Waste has called for a probe into the undeclared assets of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, his wife Shiranti Rajapaksa and son Namal Rajapaksa, whose wealth they allege far exceed official declarations.
Former State Minister Shashindra Rajapaksa, who had been previously remanded, appeared before the Colombo Magistrates Court today in connection with allegations of corruption under the Bribery Act. The former State Minister is accused of illegally receiving compensation for a property damage during the 2022 unrest. During proceedings, Colombo Chief Magistrate Asanka S. Bodaragama rejected the bail request filed on behalf of Rajapaksa. Consequently, Shashindra Rajapaksa was remanded until the 30th of September. Meanwhile, the Colombo High Court scheduled the case filed by Attorney General under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act against Yoshitha Rajapaksa, the son of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, for hearing on October 15th. When the case was called today, Yoshitha Rajapaksa and his maternal grandaunt, Daisy Forrest, both named defendants, appeared in court. In a related development, the Citizens Movement Against Fraud, Corruption and Waste lodged a complaint with the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, calling for an investigation into the assets of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, his spouse Shiranti Rajapaksa and son MP Namal Rajapaksa. We suspect that Namal Rajapaksa's wealth is significantly greater than what he has declared. The second complaint concerns the government's statement that the state residence in Vijayarama, Colombo, where former President Mahinda Rajapaksa was residing, was renovated at a cost of 500 million rupees. We have filed a complaint requesting an investigation to determine whether the full 500 million rupees were genuinely spent on renovations or whether a portion was misappropriated fraudulently. Additionally, on April 5th, 2013, Shiranti Rajapaksa purchased a house in Colombo 5. Records indicate that it was bought for 350 million rupees using funds from the Sirili account. Our next complaint therefore calls for an investigation into the source of the money credited to the Sirili account and how those funds were used to purchase the property.
Sarvajana Bale leader MP Dilith Jayavira claims that only an authentic political movement genuinely committed to change can uplift the people of Sri Lanka. He made these remarks while participating in an event in Kurunagala.
The Sarvajana Sabha of the Hettipola division of the Panduasnura electorate in Kurunagala was established yesterday under the patronage of MP Dilith Jayavira.
You
voted for the NPP with the expectation of change. Now you are experiencing the consequences of that decision in your wallets and in your homes. Even your children feel it. If this continues, even unborn generations will suffer. As a party committed to changing this course, we, the Sarvajana Bale, assure you that we are not in politics for personal gain. We are a movement capable of giving back from what we already have. When this country's citizens face a crisis, only a party that is genuinely committed to change can rescue them. That political movement has now been formed. This is a pure, authentic, honest and innocent party built on compassion. Through the 14,000 Sarvajana Sabhas that we will establish across the country, we will show how a movement can uplift the people even without holding political power. We want to free you from the mindset of dependency and break the tradition of chasing after politicians for benefits. Instead, we will show you a path to achieve success on your own. We have already presented a proposal to ensure that all struggling families will be able to secure the income they need. If we do this correctly, the Sarvajana Sabha can become an example to the world. And with that, here's a look at some more thoughts shared in the political arena today.
අන්ඩු කියන දැන් හොරු ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලා කියලා. සමහර අය කියනවා
The government claims that all the thieves have united. Let me be very clear. We fully support the government's anti-corruption campaign. There's no issue with that. If there are individuals among us who have stolen, then by all means arrest and punish them. However, if the government is using the fight against corruption as an excuse to suppress our freedom of speech, we will oppose that. They came to power on the back of countless lies. They now claim that they possess personal wealth, yet insist they will not use any of it for political purposes. This is the height of hypocrisy in their politics.
මේක තමයි තියෙන කුහක දේශපාලන ක්‍රියාවලිය.
තාම ජනතාවට වෙච්ච පොරොන්දු නම් ආණ්ඩුව ඉෂ්ට කළා නෑ.
The promises made by the government to the public have yet to be fulfilled. At the same time, some interesting revelations are being made regarding members of the government. This year, the assets and liabilities of those who once demanded money from a newlywed couple have noticeably increased. Government ministers must be held accountable and provide answers to these questions. They can no longer come before the media, show their children and speak emotionally about future generations because that's not what they used to say. They claim to represent the working class, yet they own significant amounts of property.
ඒ අයට නිර්ධන පැලැන්තිය හැබැයි දේපොළ තියෙනවා.
අපි දේශපාලනයට ආවේ උපම් පන්තියට සේවය කරන්න.
We entered politics to serve the community we were born into, a community that has always been poor. We were born into a society where our class was marginalized and treated as lesser. The transfer of power in 2024 was aimed at bringing justice to our class. That is why the privileged class is afraid. It is perfectly fine for them to be afraid, but none of you should be. We are not asking for anything more than time. This government has a mandate for 4 years and we are unshakable.
ඒවා නම් sorry.com. ඒවට ඉඩ තියන්නෙත් නෑ අපි.
හොඳම ෆෝන් එකක් ගන්න. ළඟම බාන්ස් එකට යන්න.
Police discovered over 600 kilograms of narcotics including crystal methamphetamine and heroin along with 2 bodies today in Tangol. Meanwhile, a stash of weapons and ammunition was discovered in a property in Middania, allegedly buried there by Sampath Manamperi, who received them from Bako Saman.
Tangol police recovered 2 bodies in the Sinimodara area in Tangol earlier today. The bodies were found in a house that is under renovation, where police said 3 construction workers were present last night. One of the workers was admitted by his family to Tangol Base Hospital after reporting a sudden illness. However, the patient, who was identified as a 50-year-old resident of Vitarandaniya Tangol, passed away earlier today. After receiving a complaint regarding the death, Tangol police initiated an investigation at the house under renovation. During investigations, authorities discovered the bodies of the 2 other construction workers who were identified as 21 and 24-year-old residents of Ambalantota. Police reported that crystal methamphetamine was found near the remains. Police also discovered a lorry carrying 10 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine and another carrying 400 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine and heroin parked near the residence. In the meantime, Tangol police had received information regarding a 3rd lorry in the Godalavela area, 1.5 kilometers away from the house in question. Investigations revealed that the lorry had departed from the house where the bodies were discovered. During inspections, police discovered a stock of narcotics and firearms, including 5 revolvers, a T-56 rifle, 100 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine and 100 kilograms of heroin hidden inside the vehicle. 2 suspects were arrested in connection with the incident. Inspector General of Police Priyantha Veerasurya and Senior DIG in charge of the Southern Province Kitsiri Jalat visited the house today and inspected the contraband discovered by police. Meanwhile, police recovered several weapons, including a 9mm pistol, 2 gold-plated magazines, 115 rounds of T-56 ammunition, and a hand grenade in a plot of land in Middania. During interrogations of Bako Saman, it was revealed that he had supplied the weapons and ammunition to Sampath Manamperi 2 months ago. Subsequently, investigating officers discovered that Sampath Manamperi had buried the weapons and ammunition in the land behind the house of one of his acquaintances a few days before he surrendered to the court. Manamperi was brought to the Middania police today for further investigations. In the meantime, a Ceylon Electricity Board employee residing in Kalathura has been arrested by the Police Narcotics Bureau on charges of providing accommodation to Sampath Manamperi while he was evading arrest in connection with the recent discovery of chemicals used in the production of crystal methamphetamine in Middania. Meanwhile, the house in the Salmal Uyana area in Veligama, which was raided by the Veligama police yesterday on suspicion of being used to manufacture crystal methamphetamine, was subjected to further inspection today. During the raid, the stock of chemicals suspected of being precursors in the production of crystal methamphetamine was seized by police and referred to the Government Analysts Department. Meanwhile, the 18-year-old Moldovan youth who was arrested yesterday at the premises was brought back to the house by investigating officers today for further investigations. Investigations have revealed that the youth had arrived in Veligama from Unuvatuno on August 29th and had been residing at a rental property in the Salmal Uyana area. Senior DIG in charge of the southern province, Kitsiri Jalat, also joined the investigations at the house in question this morning. Minister of Public Security Anand Vijaypala commented on the ongoing investigations into the narcotics network and political figures connected with it.
We have been uncovering details regarding political links to narcotics and organized crimes, especially details about politicians in the southern province. We are currently receiving a significant amount of intelligence information, and therefore we request once again that the public inform the Ministry of Public Security and the Sri Lanka Police of organized crimes and narcotics. Much information is being uncovered from underworld figures, including Kehel Badara Padme. Complete and systematic investigations are underway regarding this matter, and legal action will be taken regardless of rank.
President Anura Dissanayake is scheduled to undertake an official visit to Japan from the 27th to the 30th of this month at the invitation of the government of Japan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that during the visit, President Dissanayake will have an audience with the Emperor of Japan and hold a summit meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister to discuss a wide range of issues of mutual interest. The President is also scheduled to address a business forum attended by senior representatives of leading Japanese companies and investors in Tokyo, focusing on emerging economic opportunities in Sri Lanka. Additionally, President Dissanayake will attend Expo 2025 Osaka as a guest of the Government of Japan on the occasion of Sri Lanka Day at the Expo. The President will also meet and address members of the Sri Lankan expatriate community residing in Japan. Chief of the Naval Staff of India, Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi, arrived in Sri Lanka today for a 4-day official visit. During the visit, he is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya and top defence officials, including the commander of the Sri Lanka Navy, Admiral Kanchana Banagoda, as well as the commanders of the Sri Lanka Army and Air Force. Discussions will focus on maritime security training, capability enhancement, and deeper defence cooperation. Admiral Tripathi will also attend the 12th Goal Dialogue in Colombo, themed Maritime Outlook of the Indian Ocean under Changing Dynamics. Ahead of the visit, Indian stealth frigate INS Satpura arrived in Colombo to a warm welcome with joint Navy drills and engagements planned. Welcome back to First at 9. Sri Lanka's overall rate of inflation as measured by the National Consumer Price Index increased to 1.5% in August 2025 compared to 0.7% recorded in July this year. According to data from the Statistics Office, year-on-year inflation of the food group increased to 2.9% in August from 2.2% in July. Year-on-year inflation of the non-food group, meanwhile, increased to 0.4% last month from minus 0.6% in July. On a year-on-year basis, the net contribution of food commodities to inflation was 1.26% in August 2025, while the contribution of non-food items stood at 0.24%. The NCPI for all items for the month of August 2025 is 207.2, a decrease of 1.1 index points compared to July. The Colombo Bourse closed in positive territory today as a result of price gains in counters such as John Kills Holdings, City Holdings and Senkatagala Finance. The benchmark ASPI gained 141.78 points to close at 21,226.87, while the more liquid S&P Sri Lanka 20 gained 60.97 points to end the day at 6,057.13. Market turnover was 8.07 billion rupees. Foreign participation in market activity remained at subdued levels, with foreigners closing as net buyers, with foreign purchases worth 584 million rupees. Analyst at Capital Alliance, Sajid Nazar, joins us now with a few thoughts to round off our Markets in Weave segment for the week.
The S&P SL20 rose by 2.1% from 5,873 points to 5,996 points. However, market turnover fell by 23% to 30.2 billion rupees. In addition to the index performance, mostly due to contributions from the capital goods, banking and industry sectors. However, going forward, we expect the market momentum to continue strong with the credit rating upgrade that came in last week. Additionally, last week's treasury bill auctions brought in 54 billion rupees for the government, with interest rates on the 3-month bills falling by 1 basis point, while the 6- and 12-month bills were held constant.
That's all for tonight from First at 9. Thank you for joining. Have a great night.